Hi, I'm Norman Seabrook, President of the New York City Correction Officers Benevolent Association, very proud to be the president of this organization. You know, lately you've been opening up the newspaper and you've been seeing correction officers in this department, the membership, attacked from a lot of different angles. Mental health, Board of Corrections, Department of Justice, District Attorney Office in the Bronx, and correction officers are under attack. But as the president of this organization, I will not allow the membership of this organization to be attacked by anyone. We are law enforcement professionals. We do our job every day, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and we don't get the recognition we so rightfully deserve. Unfortunately, unlike the police department and the fire department, when you drive down the street and you see a fire truck, a little boy says, "I want to be a fireman." A little girl says, "I want to be a policeman." You never hear anybody say they want to be a correction officer. Well, correction officers have a very tough job, and we patrol the toughest precincts in New York 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Everybody you read about in the newspapers, bad guys, bad girls, what do you think they're at? Rikers Island, the largest municipal jail system in the country. Well, you know what? Rikers Island is bigger than that because we're correction officers and we're professionals. And you have those that write stories about prison contraband. Prison contraband this, prison contraband that. Well, at the end of the day, the New York City Department of Correction Commissioner Joe Pond, who I work with very closely, to change the image of this agency, has instituted a new policy that all men and women, regardless of rank, regardless of position, will put their food, their clothing, their articles through the magnetometer to ensure that there is no prison contraband being promoted in our jails. Yes, we've had individuals that have crossed the line, unfortunately. But you know what? At the end of the day, they're gone. And rightfully so, because the men and women and their families are more important than those that continue to promote prison contraband. So this new policy that's in place, it's not my policy, but it has something to do with the men and women of this organization. What does it have to do with us? Let me give you an example. Correction officers can come into a facility and bring their food because the food in the facilities are horrible. But you know what? It has to go through the machine. Now, I know some of you are saying, why does it have to go through the machine? Because that's his policy. It's not my policy, it's his policy. But what does that do for us? That ensures that the next time that the press writes a report or an article, that they don't include correction officers, because correction officers are following procedures the way that they're supposed to be done. The next time the press writes an article about a correction officer allegedly promoting prison contraband, we could point to that and say, no, not us, because we follow procedures. And every single one of us are being searched, going through the way that we're supposed to. Unlike Westchester County, that you're only allowed to bring a bottle of water in your uniform. Unlike California, that you're only allowed to bring 16 ounces of water and your uniform. At least we are at the table, making it so that you can have a hot meal, a decent meal. We're at the table, making sure that your rights are protected. Yeah, some of you may criticize me and say, why did he go along with that? I went along with that because I don't make policy and procedure. I'm not uniformed to make policy and procedure. The Correction Officers Benevolent Association's Executive Board and I, we fight diligently every single day to protect your rights. Some things we can control, some things we can't. This is one that we can't control. This is one that we need to control together. Because the men and women that do this job, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, deserve to be safe. Safe from someone promoting prison contraband. Not saying it's a correction officer, but safe from anyone who promotes prison contraband. We do this job, and we have a dangerous job. We deal with some of the most violent individuals in society, the ones you read about in the paper every single day. We don't need to add to that. We deal with gang violence. We deal with individuals assaulting us. I don't want to deal with someone saying to me that a correction officer is dead because there was something smuggled into a jail, that prison contraband was there. Oh, I was there when 3 guns were brought into a jail before. So you don't know the effect of it until you're in it. But the bottom line to it is, how safe do you really want to be inside the confines of a jail? As a correctional officer, you want to ensure your safety, your brother or sister officer's safety. In order to ensure our safety, we will do what it is that we're supposed to do because we're above that. We're better than that. And I'm not going to let newspapers print articles blaming us for something that we have no control over. But you know what? We have control over this. So if you have to put your meal through the machine, it's just like boarding an aircraft. If you don't clear that mag, you're not getting on this plane. Now, I'm not saying that it's the same thing. But at the end of the day, the bottom line is the same. Safety and security is our #1 priority. And we will do whatever is necessary to be done to ensure our safety. I do not want to go to a funeral of a New York City correctional officer because he or she was killed at the hands of an inmate for someone that promoted prison contraband. So I'm letting you know right now, if you're a bad guy, don't wear our badge. If you're a good guy, this is the badge for you. Thank you. I'm Norman Seabrook.